Mori Calliope's protest. Mori Calliope is a VTuber who debuted as part of Hololive EN's first generation, known as Myth, back on September 12, 2020, and was the third ever VTuber to reach 2 million subscribers on YouTube back in 2022. The issue started back on May 1, 2026, when she suddenly announced that she was going on an indefinite hiatus, choosing to remain silent as to the reason behind it. Shortly after, Mori would post a members-only announcement that provided more details regarding her hiatus, stating that, while she personally enjoyed streaming for her fans, she took issues with things quote-unquote behind the scenes, implying her agency, emphasizing her feelings of being undervalued and disrespected. 2 weeks later, on May 15th, Mori would return from her hiatus, where she would state that the reason behind her sudden hiatus was to get the attention of her agency due to her very negative sentiment towards them. She would claim that her agency has an unfavorable bias towards Hololive EN due to her issues revolving around profit splits, concert operations for the most recent concert, and a general sense of poor management, along with her facing the issue of burnout from long unenjoyable streams to keep up with the "Mori is the face of Hololive EN" pressure. She would wrap this up by stating that, despite her loving Hololive and insistence in staying with the agency, she has no issue with repeating this hiatus scare again if things don't improve for her and Hololive EN, which drew solid support from the community. Though some would point out how other branches, such as Hololive Indonesia and Holostars in general, face similar, if not worse, bias from the agency. It's unclear whether the agency will move to make changes soon or not, but the threat of Mori going on a potentially longer hiatus is a considerable one, especially given that she has made over $2 million in super chats alone. Shy Lily's design drama. Shy Lily is a large indie VTuber who had her 2D re-debut back in January 1st, 2022, after her initial 3D debut back in 2020. The drama started around May 10th, 2026, when a user by the name of Sumi called out Shy Lily for blocking her on Twitter, alleging that she was blocked due to stylistic similarities in their VTuber designs. Based on the telling of events, Shy Lily would reach out to Sumi in private to provide clarifications, stating that she likely blocked Sumi due to previous involvements in drama, which, given that Sumi allegedly underwent over 17 rebrands due to past dramas, would be considered by most to be a valid reason to block her. However, Shy Lily would choose to unblock Sumi, perhaps as a way to give her the benefit of the doubt, though would shortly post a tweet soon after, clarifying the situation by denying the "you look the same as me, so I must block you" allegations, while affirming that she can choose to block whoever she wants for whatever reason, and blocked Sumi again, to which Sumi would not be too pleased about and made another call-out tweet afterwards. Generally speaking, a large majority of the community, even those who weren't the biggest fans of Shy Lily, saw this as an attempt to drama bait for attention, similar to a certain somebody in the past, and dismissed Sumi's allegations as such, the Offkai sponsored drama. Offkai Expo, or just Offkai, is a VTuber-focused convention hosted in San Jose, California, with this year's upcoming event occurring on July 24th through July 26th. The drama started around May 16th, 2026, when Offkai announced that Fansly, a direct competitor of OnlyFans, would join the convention as a sponsor, and would be physically present at the convention's exhibitor hall to allow people to meet some of their talent. This would lead to a very mixed reaction from the community, with the majority of the initial reactions questioning the presence of an adult platform in a convention where unaccompanied minors are allowed to attend. Now, in my opinion, while Offkai does have an 18+ only area of the exhibitor hall, which is where Fansly will likely be stationed at, it probably would have been better if Offkai explicitly stated that in the announcement rather than implying that it's open access to everybody there. But I digress. The discourse would shift towards both general resentment towards so-called lewd tubers and specific adult deviancies that have occurred at Offkai, one of which being group orgies at the hotels at last year's event. Hence why some of the community made references to them when posting their opinions about the situation. As for the former take on lewd tubers, a growing discourse revolving around the adultification of VTubing had divided the community into two major camps. Either it's valid for 18+ content to be its own growing sub-niche in the VTubing sphere, or it isn't and is generally causing a bad reputation for the VTubing sphere. Regardless of opinion, it doesn't appear that Fansly will be pulling out of Offkai, as they remain on the sponsor page without any further details from either party. As of this video, the exhibitor hall map hasn't been released yet, but I would bet $100 that Fansly, along with the other 18+ sponsors, will be appropriately sectioned to the adult area. Hopefully this doesn't come to bite me in the ass. As with all my videos, do not harass anyone in or outside of this video.